Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Hub Plus. As you've known, we've had a lot of updates to this system for us to do payroll. And in this video, this is just showing you some of the little mini updates that they have done since we've been back from winter break, including some tiles and also a quick way to look at your particular time card and figure out where to put your coverages, leave request, and or any type of other time cards that might need to be requested. So I'm on my page here. There have been some additional tiles and some tiles that have been reformatted for everyone to look at. Including today, there was an update regarding pay statements, which is where you'll find your pay stub. And then also to now we are able to view our time cards and we're able to place in our time and absences if they are needed and requested for time off or particular coverage for a particular class. So if you click on the time and absences tile, you should see your tile with your name. This is my government name, of course. And then you have all the additional tiles for your time cards, your current, your adding, and your existing time cards. I'm going to go to current time cards, and I'm also going to go to the existing time card. So right now, this is our existing time card. This is for the week of January 4th to January 10th. If you notice also here, we have a emergency leave because we've been out for a couple of days due to the snow. So in your payroll, when you actually put in for coverage, you will see if there are any emergency days or any holidays. These are automatically placed in here for you. If you go to the right side of the screen, this is where you'll see the week and the days of that particular period in which you enroll and put in your actual hours that you've worked. And because we haven't been at school for 3 days, the hours are already pre-filled. But let's say, for example, if you have some coverage that you are needing to put in your time card. So if you go here, if you just take your mouse and you click or cursor and you click on it, it's going to have a drop down menu for you that will have the position that you currently are working. I have two, so that's why you see two different codes. But if you only have one position with one code, you would see that and then would see the summer employment code or your supplemental hour code for that particular position. So you would want to put in the code that starts with one instead of the S. The S would be the supplemental employment. So that might be for extracurricular activities or for summer employment. But anywho, if you see that particular position that you work, you would click on it. So I'm just going to click on this, for example. I'm staff development, so I'm 1009. So for example, for this week, if I had a coverage, I would also click to the next cell over and I would click on the drop down menu again. And you will see the multiple types of payroll that would be needed for your coverage. Now, if you are covering as an MCEA, you have the class coverage label on the very top of the drop down menu. So you would click on that and then it would fill in or pre-fill that cell. For the next cell, I'm not special ed or Head Start, so I would leave this cell empty. If you are special ed, you would click on, just like again, to access the drop down menu, and you would place in that code. Then you would go over to the right side of the screen where you see the week and the hours listed. And then this is where you would have to figure out how much time on your coverage that you had to fulfill. So whether it would be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour 10, you would place that decimal equivalent of the coverage here. So usually we have 45-minute slots. So 45 minutes would be converted to a decimal of 770 or a 7 out of 10. So I would put that decimal in that cell to pre-fill, and then you will see on the far right corner it would tell you how many hours you have for that day. Because we have been out of school, I don't want to keep this, so if you forget or if you have any errors with your hours, you can just delete that time. And then if you want to take off the coverage, if you've missed a day, or if you want to go into the next day and add your coverage, you can just do that manually and type in the coverage decimal percentage there. If you make a mistake before you submit and you figured out, oh, I didn't have coverage, or if you know sometimes we get coverage unbeknownst or beknownst to us due to subs coming in or not, or anything that happens within the school day, you can just come back into this time card and you can just delete the row in which you have actually entered in this information. So you would just go back to the position that you typed in or that you scroll through, and then it would also give you a drop down menu of deleting the row, duplicating it. So you have multiple coverages, you can actually duplicate it here this way. And then if you have an additional row for coverage, you can actually insert the row above or below. So I'm just going to delete this row because this is in my file and I want to take this off. So hopefully I can take this off real quick. And even if you don't delete it, if you do not save the information, it will not save on your file until you press submit. So do not be afraid if you cannot get the row off at the previous time. It's just like Google Drive. It saves automatically unless you do a hard submission or a hard save. Okay. If you also want to do a leave request or absence, I'm going to switch the screen here for a second, and I'm going to go back to the home page, which is the Pentagon, either located on the top right corner of the home page, or you can go to the triple lines on the top left corner. Click on that, and you will still see the same menu, but just verticalized. Okay, so when you submit your time card or when you submit everything, including your coverages, you will have on the bottom of the screen a things to finish, and it will also show time entry cards, time period for approval. And then sometimes if you make an accidental mistake, I was trying to check out some things earlier due to the blackout and some things got messed up there, but you will see everything that you've done within Hub Plus on this notification bar on the bottom. So I'm going to go to absences and leave balances. I'm actually going to see my leave request. So I'm going to go to that tile. Or I can actually go here to see what's going on with my plan and leave balances. So this is a way that you can actually see if you have to put in a balance. This will be a PDF version of what you will have given that you have absences when leave for the balance of how much you have left. And if you go back to home and you go to time and absences, to add the absence, so that way it'll be reflected on your time card, you're going to add the absence here on the bottom. So when you click on the tile, this tile will be looked at as a new absence. So the new absence, this absence here, if you click on the drop down menu, these are the types of absences that you will have. So you will click on that, and if you click on the type of absence, the details of the absence, once it populates, will go below the drop down menu. Once you click on the submit button, it should show on your existing time card. So if you go back to your existing time cards, the existing time card would only show the time card in which you have allowed for the period of days that you've worked. For example, I have a period that is not shown up yet that I will be absent. So once you show or look at the existing time cards, these will be the scheduled hours that you have, and then these would be, it will show reported hours, scheduled hours, and absence hours that you have. If you have any absences or you're out for some reason, this number may be decreased. And then it shows also the total hours that you have here and the submission date in which you submitted your time card. If you noticed on the bottom, if you have an approval of your time card, it will be in green. If you're still working on a time card, hence we're still in this week and we have not finished the week out, so the status would be entered. Entered would reflect the days that you have entered in your time, but the final part of the entering period would end on possibly the Thursday before the pay period ends. So this color will be gray until you submit. So I'm going to go back to my home page here. Okay. So if you have any information or any questions regarding putting in for coverage, or if you have any issues with locating the time card, remember this time and absences button will be your friend. If you need to add a time card, or if you need to look at your team schedules and shifts and absences, these tiles are here for you. And also remember, current time card is where we're currently working. The existing time card would be the 2 weeks, or the time card that would reflect the 2 weeks that you've been working for that pay period as well. Also, I'm just going to look at team schedule for a bit. I don't have a team schedule because I don't have particularly a shift. But if you have a substitute and you want to verify the absence for that particular class and to see if your substitute has picked up the job, you can also look here at your team schedule to figure out if the sub has picked it up. Because we are still out of school right now, this might not be reflective until the morning that you get back into work. But now that we are able to see our payroll time card, you may be able to see if that sub has picked up your job. And more than likely, you'll receive an email every time that you submit your time card, or if you make any adjustments to absences, or if you're going to be out, in an email, so that way you can know if it's been verified and approved. If you have any questions, I hope that you can have clarity on what these questions are about. And remember, you can ask your time manager, which is Mrs. Martin, or myself, or Tracy Mickens Hunley, for any questions about payroll. We are here to help, and we are also will be available to help you with any questions. So if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks, and have a great evening.